Today it's time for a side dish. We have some asparagus and we're going to make an asparagus casserole. Good to go with our dinner tonight. I can't wait, so let's get started. So we need some asparagus. That's one bunch of asparagus, and honestly, I thought I had two till I went to the fridge, and I'm not using the other bunch of asparagus. We'll make this do. So I cut the bottom off, and we're going to cut them into something like bite-sized chunks. I didn't want the whole bit. We just cut them into bunches, gave them a quick rinse. And of course there's the tops. So about, 2 inches wide, maybe a little more. That'll do for what we need. Here's the pan we're going to be using. Quick spray just so it doesn't stick too much to the bottom. Just like that. And of course now goes our asparagus. Now this just covers the bottom. It would be quite a bit doing another bunch of asparagus. It'd be really good. I mean, this was more than enough for a meal, so unless you need a lot, this was plenty. Next up, we need some half and half cream, 2 cups worth. And of course, if you don't have it, if you got cream and milk, you can combine it. If you just have milk, you can use that too. So I've got the ends of some cream and some milk. This will make 2 cups of half and half, just like that, and we'll put that aside. Now into a pan goes some butter. We got to melty this butter down. That's about 4 tablespoons. So we started melting it down, then I realized that one of the tablespoons I needed for later. So I'm sure it would have been fine just keeping all the butter in there, but I panicked a bit and cut it up and pulled out about a tablespoon. So now we're just going to whisk it around and get it to pretty well melt down. Just like that. Now this is 2.5 tablespoons of flour, and now we're going to mix it for 3 minutes until it comes up to a boil like this. We'll keep stirring. And you're going to see it's going to change color. So you don't want it on high. This is on about medium. And we mix and we mix, and you see it's starting to turn brown now. That's after 3 minutes. And it's starting to thicken up really well too. So in goes our half and half cream, a little bit at a time, because you don't want it to scald and go bad. So you do a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Keep mixing, keep mixing. And of course the temperature in the pan is going to go down a little bit too. And that's okay. You just keep stirring, and it's going to end up a little cooler, and you'll just keep whisking it till it comes back up to a boil. Each time you can put a little bit more in and just keep stirring it in. There. That looks good right there. That's a bunch of pepper and 2 teaspoons of garlic powder thrown in. So we stir, stir, stir until the sauce starts to thicken. We put it aside. Now you've got a cup of Parmesan shredded. We're going to put about half of that into the sauce right now. We'll save the other half for a little later. And because it's so nice and steamy hot, it's going to melt pretty easy, I think. And we'll put that aside. So here's our asparagus back, and the mixture we just did, we're going to pour it evenly on the asparagus, trying not to go right to the edge with it. So just pour it about maybe a half an inch to an inch away. See how I didn't quite go to the edge with it? It's all going to spread out anyway, so not the end of the world. And try to be as evenly as possible. And this just barely covers up the asparagus. So I'm kind of wondering now what we would have done if we had 2 bunches of asparagus. I think I might have had to double up the liquid, at least go to another 50% more. So instead of 2 cups of half and half, it'd be 3. And instead of a cup of Parmesan, you know what, go to 2 cups. Why not? It's not going to hurt a thing. So I thought I had this great idea of just spreading it around to make sure everything was covered up, because this has got to go in the oven now. 400 for about 15 minutes, but halfway through we got to pull it out. And you'll see why right now. That's about a half a cup-ish of panko breadcrumbs. Actually, they're Myco breadcrumbs, my homemade. The other tablespoon of butter, melted, of course. So we're going to mix the 2 together. Just like that. Next comes the rest of that grated Parmesan, so that's about a half a cup in there. And we do the same thing, mix, 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 mix. It's all nicely combined. So we're about 8 minutes in the oven right now. You can see it's starting to get nice and cooked. Now we're going to sprinkle the topping on top as evenly as possible. You want it to cover as much as it will. And once again, I suppose if you want a little more on, you could. Back in the oven it goes, 7 minutes to go. Here we are at the 15-minute mark. Not only is everything nice and bubbly, but look at that nice golden crust on top. Doesn't that look great? This is a hell of a side dish. And while we're at it, I made a meatloaf and some mashed potatoes to go along with this. And here it is right here. Doesn't that look good? That is yummy all by itself. Throw some meatloaf and some mashed potatoes, like I said, and you got yourself one hell of a nice weekday or weekend meal. Hey, another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this and any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.